Hello everyone, welcome to this news hour on Equinoxe television live from my headquarters in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. I am Bable Jonathan, and our top stories at this news hour. The senior division officer of the Jamare division, Jean-Marc Ekwambalga, imposes restrictions to the circulation of commercial motorbikes in the town of Marwa in the far north region of the country in the fight against rising crime wave in its area of command. Henceforth, commercial motorbike riders are forbidden from circulating beyond 9 p.m. in that part of the country. In news out of the Republic of Cameroon, 10 million children are among those facing severe hunger as a result of the extreme climatic conditions hitting the Horn of Africa. Commercial motorbike riders are henceforth forbidden from circulating beyond 9 p.m. in the town of Marwa. This is a decision taken by the senior divisional officer of the Jamare division, Jean-Marc Ekwambalga, during a crisis meeting. This was discussed and agreed upon as a measure to limit the increasing crime wave in that part of the country. Innocent.
Furious commercial motorcycle riders in Marwa, far north region of Cameroon, take the law into their hands. In an amateur video, bike riders could be spotted lynching some alleged thieves, something a human rights advocate condemns. No international convention gives right to the violation of life. The Commission of Human Rights and Freedom had warned against this situation when the insecurity began increasing in Marwa. We have always condemned them taking laws into their hands, and we are requesting that those who have stained their hands, justice should take its course. The action of these bike riders comes days after 8 bike riders were killed by alleged thieves and their motorcycles taken away.
Les mototaximens eux-mêmes sont victimes.
We want to say that the bike riders themselves are victims. Even at that, it's our responsibility to advise those who have chosen to be bike riders, because we've discovered that sensitization and collaboration within the councils is not going through. They use commercial bike riders only during electoral campaigns. So it's time for these councils to collaborate with the motorcycle syndicate to sensitize and fight against this persistent insecurity.
Pour qu'on puisse ensemble non seulement sensibiliser, mais tout faire pour évacuer, je vais dire, cette insécurité qui persiste.
It is for this reason that the senior divisional officer of the Jamare summoned all 9 divisional officers, mayors, top security officials and the motorcycle syndicate for a crisis meeting to see how mob justice could be stopped.
Qu'il faut mettre fin à la violence que nous sommes.
It's time to stop the violence we are having now. No one has the right to kill another person, not for any reason. It is only a judge that has the right to sentence someone to death. We've also learned that the commercial bike riders also suffer the same fate. So, we've agreed with the governor that after 9 p.m., commercial motorcycles will stop working.
Une concertation avec M. le gouverneur d'interdire l'activité des mototaximens au-delà de 22 heures.
In the days ahead, controls will also begin in the town of Marwa to clean the motorcycle sector, which is believed to be hiding criminals.
Smanjik and Gabriel reporting there on insecurity in Marwa in the far north region of the Republic of Cameroon, where there is equally the problem of Boko Haram. And for several years now, Boko Haram militias, Boko Haram terrorists have been attacking several parts of the far north region of the country and leaving the people in fear and uncertainty. And now in the northwest and southwest regions of the country for close to 6 years now, gun battles between soldiers and armed separatists have been going on, killings, destruction of properties, burning down of houses, and this has brought a lot of adverse consequences on the people in that part of the country, as Stella reports.
Since 2016, Bello in Boyo division of the Northwest region has been one of the communities bleeding from the adverse effects of the armed conflict, rocking the Northwest and Southwest regions of Cameroon. Markets, homes and schools are institutions that have been burnt down. Children have lost their parents as well as civil status documents with no hope of ever owning another again. During the Administrative, Management and Stores Account session of the Bello Council, Mayor Ngong Innocent announced the production of 700 birth certificates for children of the municipality.
What we have realized is that the most vulnerable children are the ones suffering. That means orphans, children that have lost both parents, children that have dropped out of school. They are the ones that need this precious document more than any other document. We have just had funding for 727 birth certificates from Minister Abena Ondoa, and we are going to provide this free and crucial document, the birth certificate, which is a human right.
The crisis is still on and the security situation is challenging. The session of the Bello Council therefore took place in Bumenda, where councillors say they want to make Bello great again.
Poor waste disposal, a serious threat to the health of the people of Lumindemongo Division, littoral region of the Republic of Cameroon. They are complaining at a time when the situation has been exposing them to the cholera epidemic. And we have details in this report compiled by Immaculate Fowe.
Piles of garbage littered along major streets in the town of Jombe Pinja, Mungo Division of the littoral region. Those living around are now forced to inhale the pungent smell emitted, putting their health at risk. Apart from this site, some rivers have equally been transformed into dumping grounds. This accounts for the increasing number of cholera cases, which stands at 289, with 9 deaths registered in the subdivision. The environment is not suitable for human beings. Lots of us will get sick. There is dirt everywhere. We are asking if we even have a mayor. A new mayor was elected, but we are not feeling his impact.
Look at
it for yourself. Mosquitoes everywhere. If you go to hospital, several cholera cases have been admitted. We are calling on the authorities to manage the situation. Apart from poor waste disposal, water shortage is another contributing factor to the rapid rise in cholera cases. The population stay for weeks without a drop of water flowing from their taps. Aware of these challenges plaguing his area of command, the divisional officer of Jombe Pinja launched a cleanup campaign by clearing up the dirt. During my tour, I noticed that the environment was very dirty, so we decided to launch a cleanup campaign. If not, the number of cholera cases will rise. I would equally like to advise the population to stop dumping dirt all over because it's inhygienic. The population are urging council authorities to sit up and efficiently address the problems plaguing the locality.
Teachers in the West Regional Chief Town, Bafoussam, decry what they qualify as worsening educational system in the Republic of Cameroon, the poor treatment of teachers, inadequate structures, and other problems affecting the teaching and learning process in the Republic of Cameroon. They were speaking during the first ever meeting bringing together teachers, civil society leaders, and other educational stakeholders in Bafoussam. Details in this report compiled by Innocent Aze.
Teachers, Main education actors say the country's educational system is sick.
J'accepte parce qu'il y a un programme. Mais quel type de convo que je construis, je n'en sais rien.
Most of them have been teaching for many years but have observed a worsening situation. This teacher wishes actions be taken to give a clear vision to Cameroon's educational system before 2035. To some members of the civil society, the stagnant mess in the educational sector could be due to choice of government authorities to value money more over education.
Ce n'est pas ce livre qui est en train d'aider nos enfants à faire cela.
Meeting in a bond platform dubbed Educare in Bafoussam, the education trade unionists, civil society actors, parents and many others shared a common notion to see the educational system upgraded. It is a moment for us to reflect on the quality of education we want.
Donc tout ce que nous faisons aujourd'hui, nous avons déjà fait par le passé.
We dwelt on education financing, inclusive education, infrastructures, and the training of teachers.
Celui de l'éducation inclusive dont nous avons parlé.
An initiative saluted by this political actor. I am glad for all their struggle to have a standard educational system. They expect much from us politicians, especially during upcoming elections. They think political actors must have education development at heart. Being one of several others to hold, this initiative is expected to draw the attention of government authorities to save education that has been decaying fast from the roots.
It has been a very difficult Ramadan fasting month for Muslim faithfuls in the Republic of Cameroon. It has been quite difficult for them to carry on with the regular fasting and all the activities during this religious month as a result of the increase in prices of basic commodities on the market. Many of them have been complaining and finding it quite difficult to meet up with some of their needs as a result of the skyrocketing prices of basic commodities on the market. In the nation's capital, Yaoundé, some authorities, administrative and religious authorities, have been encouraging the Muslim faithfuls to remain strong, steadfast, and to hold on to their faith and carry on with the month that is almost coming to an end. It has, however, been quite difficult for many of them, especially the poor and low-income earners. And the president of the National Episcopal Conference of Cameroon has cautioned Cameroonian authorities against undermining the crisis of the masses, or the problems faced by the population, notably hardship, coupled with the increase in prices of basic commodities on the market. He was speaking at the 47th plenary conference of bishops of Cameroon, which ended with the bishops agreeing to be more politically involved in the affairs of the country. For me, I'm Sanda has more.
Others resolved a stronger social action and an intensified presence on the political landscape by being consistent and fearless in calling out excesses. In his capacity as the host of the 47th Plenary Assembly of the Bishops of Cameroon, the Archbishop of Yaoundé, His Grace Jean Barga, frowned at the current hike in the prices of basic commodities in Cameroon.
Elle devient donc un lieu de tension économique lorsque les recettes des familles sont dépassées par les prix du marché qui augmentent.
He is worried that the prices of goods are rising without a corresponding rise in the purchasing power of households in the country.
Un sentiment mitigé entre la joie induite par le recul notable de la COVID-19.
Bishop Abrahams Komen, president of the National Episcopal Conference of Cameroon, sounded worried that the inflation is widening the already existing gap between the rich and the poor in Cameroon. He went further to strongly condemn the rise in domestic violence and its consequences on families and lives in the country.
Ces comportements barbares doivent être tenus pour inacceptables et réprimandés de la façon la plus ferme.
As part of a solution to the multiple problems, Bishop Jean Barga beckoned Christians to intensify prayers. After re-echoing the need to pray without ceasing, the President Abraham's Comer cautioned Cameroonian authorities against undermining the cries of the masses, which in most cases are passively or actively expressed.
In the south of Cameroon, more than 10 million children are among those facing severe drought in the Horn of Africa. The United Nations Children's Emergency Fund, UNICEF, estimates that this figure is 3 million higher than it was 2 months ago. UNICEF says unless money comes in and rain falls, the region could face an avalanche of child deaths. And the organization's executive director, Catherine Rosell, said that the drought was the worst climate-induced emergency in 40 years in the Horn of Africa. She added that there is so much attention on Ukraine, and thus the need to show people what's happening in the Horn of Africa to make sure they understand the difficulties. According to her, if rains do not come, people will definitely not survive because there is so little for the people. UNICEF requires about $250 million for humanitarian aid to Ethiopia, Somalia, Kenya, Eritrea, and Djibouti. For greater details, now take a listen to what Mohamed Malik Fall, Regional Director of UNICEF, and Thompson Fury, spokesperson of the World Food Programme, said earlier this year to SABC.
There are millions of lives that are hanging in the balance. The needs are massive and they are quickly outpacing the available funds to respond to this scale of need. We need to act now and to prevent really a catastrophe. UNICEF projects that up to 20 million people in Eritrea, Ethiopia, Kenya, and Somalia will need water and food assistance in the next 6 months. And that is almost the same amount of people as the population of Greece and Sweden combined. Right now, nearly 5.5 million children in these 4 countries are threatened by acute malnutrition, and an estimated 1.4 million children by severe acute malnutrition. UNICEF fears that this number will increase by 50% if the rain don't come in the next 3 months. Families are taking extreme measures to survive, and in many cases leaving their home, which put children on the move at particular risk. This is a crisis that requires a collective response, ensuring access to clean water, nutrition, and safe space for children.
The United Nations World Food Programme, WFP, is today warning an estimated 13 million people are waking up hungry every day across the Horn of Africa as the region grapples with severe drought caused by the driest conditions since 1981. What is particularly striking about this drought is its breadth. Livestock are dying, and that is devastating for pastoral families. Unable to find pasture and with fodder out of reach of many, pastoralists have watched their livestock die. After 3 consecutive failed rainy seasons, harvests are up to 70% below the norm in affected areas. Now, food and water...
And that's it for the first part of this newscast. Talking Point is up next. Thank you for staying with us in Talking Points. Today we are receiving Gala Boris, the entrepreneur, dynamic speaker, and investor. Gala Boris, welcome. Gala Boris is an entrepreneur and a dynamic speaker and investor, a young Cameroonian a young Cameroonian who's been working hard to raise young people who are capable of doing business right, who are capable of taking the challenge to contribute to the country's economic growth and, of course, to solve problems within their society, within the nation. And we're going to be discussing some issues concerning business with our guest today, Ngala Boris Izzy. You're welcome.
Thank you, Babila Jonathan. It's a great privilege to be here today again on Equinoxe, and I'm really grateful for this great privilege. Thank you very much.
All right, we want to talk about how to do things right as far as business is concerned, and we want to make sure that people are doing what they know how to do, so that what they know shouldn't do them.
Thank you for that word. If you don't do what you know will do you. That's it. And in regards of doing the right thing and doing it right, it's very important. I would say it's better to do the right thing and do it right than do nothing, just like do nothing at all. I have one principle. It's either I'm doing something and I'm doing it right, or I don't do it at all. And that has been a principle that I live by. And when it comes to business, of course, doing it right is the main principle that helps you to succeed.
Right. And a lot of people, especially young people today, jump into business without a proper understanding of what business is all about, without a proper training, without any mentorship. But you think that these are key elements that will guarantee success in business: training and mentorship. Tell us about this.
Exactly, Babila Jonathan. I see business as, for instance, starting up a business is just like you have a baby, you have a kid, you have a child. You don't put to birth and leave the child. You have to feed the child with milk. You have to be there for the child. You have to clean the child when it's dirty. You have to be there for the child when they're sick. You have to be there to help them through as a parent. So it goes the same. It's the same concept with entrepreneurs, with businessmen, with business owners. Your business is like a child that you're growing, that you're grooming, and you have to be there to be able to see them through that development. And that's why training, that's why mentorship, that's why business going through some seminars, some tuition, some gatherings is very important, especially in entrepreneurship, because you can't just grow like that. You know, a kid cannot just grow like that. A child cannot just grow like that. They have to go through their parents helping them, holding their hands when they need them, to be there for them. And that's just the concept, I think, really. That's the right way to go. So growth is a whole process, and business has a process too. And in business, you have people that have had experience. They are like parents. In business, you have people that have knowledge. They are like teachers, you know. So they say, you know, a child is actually a child is grown by a whole village. It's one child is not. You know, if I have a child right now, the child is not my child. I will not just give him what I know. The teacher in the school has something to do with the child. The priest or maybe the reverend has something to do with the growth of the child, and the society has something to do with the growth of the child. The same thing with business. It has the same concept. You have to go through some trainings. You have to go through some mentorship. You have to have a coach that will say, you know, keep pushing, keep going forward, don't give up, stand up, keep moving forward, because there are moments that you'll be discouraged, there are moments that you'll be down, there are moments that it will feel like you have no future. And if you don't have people by you, if you don't have that inner strength to start with, it starts with you. It starts with you. Like business, it starts with you. Having a child, for instance, it starts with the parents to have the child. And when they have the child, they have to be responsible parents in order to grow that child to maturity. So business starts with you first. It is a you thing. It starts with you. You have to be disciplined to start a business. You have to be decisive in the very first place. You have to be decisive enough to start a business. That taking that first decision to say, yes, I want to change something. I want to solve a problem. I want to bring a solution to this problem, and I want to generate income out of solving this problem. Then you have to be disciplined about it. Then you have to be determined to be able to make it happen. So it's a whole process. It's just like growing a child, and I think that's the concept, really.
All right, God says in the Bible that my people die because of lack of knowledge, and in the same way, many businesses are failing, many business ventures are crumbling, not succeeding because of lack of knowledge and lack of know-how, besides the other problems that are already existing. And that's why you put up an incubator. This is an idea that is relatively new to many in Cameroon and other African countries, and many of the young people who are doing one business or the other will certainly have little understanding. When you talk to many of them, they have little understanding of this idea of an incubator. What is it, and how important is it for somebody who wants to get into business to go through an incubator?
An incubator is very, very important in helping entrepreneurs, in helping startups to have stamina through their development. It helps them, it provides them with advice. You know, so many people take the wrong route because of lack of advice. They don't have guidance in life. And so a business incubator gives you the right advice because we have experts. And they give you resources. Resources here could be experts in the field of entrepreneurship. It could be successful businessmen and women that these incubators have access to, and you as an individual, you don't have that access to. It could be contacts, network. I will tell you, if you have within your line of contact, you have successful businessmen, successful businesswomen in your list of contacts. You are one step, or maybe so many steps from success, but not much as somebody who does not have those contacts. And people trust incubators. People trust institutions that are credible. So incubators are credible. When you look at Y Combinator, when you look at other incubators that have built unicorns, that have raised amazing businesses, it only wows you to see that the idea of an incubator is so important in a community, in a society, in a country like ours, Africa in miniature, that is so blessed by God. So we can only help curb joblessness, help curb poverty through this type of initiative, like starting up an incubator, bringing people together, helping them through their journey to create successful businesses, sustainable and successful businesses. So having incubators is very important, and that is like an open space of knowledge, an open space of resources, an open space of advice, and an open space of capital as well, because incubators also raise capital for businesses. They also support businesses in capital, in terms of cash. It could be, you could be maybe a tech startup and you need maybe 5 computers. You don't need cash necessarily, you need 5 computers. And the incubator maybe have the capacity of providing you these computers that will help you to do maybe to start doing website development and stuff like that, and creating applications. That is the role of incubators. So incubators are very important. In a country like ours, we really have to get this type of ideas flowing, and hoping to get our people sensitized and have a full understanding of how incubators can help them to create sustainable and successful businesses that will in turn help the development of the country, that will help the development of the country by combating high crime wave. You see most of people on the street that are criminals or that are doing things, it's because they are jobless. It's because they don't have a way forward. So incubators will help. And when people are busy at businesses, busy doing things, there will be no high crime wave. You will be seeing people, getting at their business, being serious with their lives. And I think that's how a country can develop.
All right. In terms of preparing people for success in business, I just wanted to lay more emphasis on what exactly is done in an incubator. In your incubator, for example, the Boris Bison Business Incubator, I know you're going to be launching on Friday, but you're already doing something there. What exactly are you doing there in terms of preparing people for success in business?
Thank you for that question. Here at BB Incubator, Boris Bison Youth Empowerment Business Incubator, we pick entrepreneurs. We have three main steps. We pick entrepreneurs from ideation. That means an entrepreneur can have an idea and they don't have all the resources. They don't have the capacity. They don't have the capital, all what it takes. We pick their ideas, and ideas at the very first sight is always junk. So you have to let your ideas flow through a refinery to be refined to a business model that could possibly become a business model. So here at BB Incubator, we pick entrepreneurs from ideation, because amazing businesses have been created by ideas. We are where we are today because of the idea of having an incubator like this. So we pick entrepreneurs from ideation to launch, help them to shape their business ideas into a business model, and they launch their business. We pick those that have already launched and guide them through their journey of business development. That is what we do. Then the third part of those are those that have already launched and they want to scale, and scaling is one of the most difficult thing in business. So they want to scale, they want to have international network, they want to have maybe national network in the very first place, they want to have structures in place. I bet you most businesses in Cameroon actually fail within the timeline of 3 to 5 years, purposely because they are operating without a structure. They don't have systems that they run on. So incubators help them to create those systems, to put in place those structures, help them to be able to scale. And that's what we do. And we also do what in Cameroon also, we have a very big problem that I see as a social crisis. Many of these big people with big titles in offices that are working on government matricle, that after retirement they become a social crisis, because anytime they're going to the hospital, oh son, can you send me money to go to the hospital? Daughter, can you send me money to go to the garage? So what we're doing here also is that we help to promote senior entrepreneurship program, that somebody can be in his office, somebody can be working and yet have that knowledge, have the knowledge of bootstrapping, have the knowledge of savings, have the knowledge of self-investment, have the knowledge of creating business development. So where they are working, they can even create a solution for the company that they are working, because they best know the problems that their company is facing. And that's what we do here, really.
Now, what are the requirements to enroll in a business incubator? For example, if somebody is listening to you now and the person wants to come to Bonaberi Dwella for subdivision and enroll in the Boris Bison Business Incubator, what are the requirements? Are there some academic qualifications needed for someone to enroll in a business incubator?
The requirements start with you having an idea that is impact oriented, that is community oriented, that can solve a problem to generate income. That's the first criteria. Once you have this, your educational level is very important, but I will not precise which level you must come with. But if you are willing to go through, we have a lot of business people that don't have even advanced levels. We have a lot of business people that don't have they don't have PhDs, they don't have masters, of course. So we want to discourage the fact that it's not about certificates here. It's about doing something practical. So the criteria, first of all, like I said, is about you having an idea. Second, you have to, for instance, if you come like to be the incubator, there is the on the website we have the procedures outlined, laid out, that you can simply just follow A, B, C, D, and you're registered. When you register, you're being selected, then you have a kind of like an open day where you come and meet different other entrepreneurs. We share ideas, we get to know you, we get to do some background checks about you, we get to know that you're committed, because not everybody that say, yeah, I want to do business is really doing business. Not everybody that say, yeah, I want to start business, want to do business. They're just saying it because they feel like it's a shortcut to become a millionaire. No, there's no shortcut. You have to go through it, and you have to go through pain at some point. At some point, business is not pleasure. Business is not pleasure. That's one thing each and every entrepreneur listening to me out there should know. Business is not pleasure. It's all about pressure. And last time we said the more pressure you can take, the more money you can make. So here, the criteria, first of all, is your idea, how committed you are, how willing you are to go through. And if you follow our registration form, both on online or maybe on the site here, you can be given the chance to enroll. And we have an amazing facility here. I hope that you find time out to check us out and enroll.
Now, what we are talking about now, is it also imperative for small-scale business, persons who are engaging into some kind of small-scale businesses? Is it also imperative, or better still, indispensable for them?
It is imperative for them, because we have had very successful Cameroonians that started selling granuts, and today they have amazing industries. The only reason they got to where they are today is because of knowledge that the people that sold granuts, the same granite with them, the reason they did not make it to become that much big is because of the knowledge that they had. So the knowledge you have is very much important. It is imperative for you that even if you're selling granuts, you should have the mindset of a billionaire, of a millionaire. And that is not about being motivational. I'm being honest, this is about knowledge. It's about having the right knowledge. It's about applying the right knowledge. It's about taking the right action at the right time in the right place. And that helps you to grow. So it is very imperative for every business owner to go through an incubation process, or a mentorship process, or have a coach that have experience, practical experience. I'm not talking of coaches that are making noise here and there. I'm talking of people that have credibility. There's some level of credibility to their name. There's some level, when you look at them, you can attest that, wow, these people have a success story, and you would love to be like them. So look, it is very imperative. It is very imperative for every business owner to go through an incubation program, or a training, or some kind of coaching program like that.
All right, we're wrapping up here. Thank you so much, Ngala Boris Z, entrepreneur, dynamic speaker, investor. Thank you for joining us today.
My great pleasure. Thank you, Babila Jonathan. Thank you, televiewers.
Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us. That's it for today's edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe television. In about 22 minutes, Sejolan Odu and his guests will be in your homes with Equinoxe. Stay with us.